Hello, this is Neapolitan here, back at it with another YouTube video. This time is my fall 2024 seasonal update. This is probably coming out about a month and a half late. I do apologize for that. There are a few reasons. One, I didn't think I watched enough like seasonals to make an update, so I binge watched a few at the end of December and early January. And then also I want to finish all my anime before, like all the seasonal anime before putting out an update like this, as something like Wonder Egg Priority. It had a pretty bad ending in my opinion. So, I want to see the whole thing through before putting a rating to it or talking about it. And then if it's like a two core anime, just like till the end of the first core. Third thing, I have procrastinated the art like really badly. It like it's been horrendous how badly I've been procrastinating it. It is a bit demotivating just seeing all the good art on like X or like just on the internet and comparing myself to it. I know I shouldn't because I am just a beginner. I've only done like whatever was required in art class at elementary and like just drawing stick figures. So I do I do want to get better, and the only way to get better is to practice. So I just gotta sit down and commit. That is part of the reason why I make these videos. Just to set a schedule and sit down and commit to drawing, and then also trying to get better at expressing my thoughts and feelings about certain things, and then just hopefully recommending some of these like underrated anime that go under the radar just because it's not Dandadan popular or like Chainsaw Man popular. So yeah, that I believe that's it for that. Uh, I will try and keep these short, as I do not want this video to go on too long, and just talking about like 10 anime, it takes like over an hour, and I don't understand why. It makes no sense to me. I don't know what I am yapping about, but so, and I believe I have like 18 here, so I don't want this to take like 2 hours. So I'm gonna try and talk quickly slash not go too in depth, although I don't usually go like video essay depth. Maybe one day I'll put out a video essay about an anime, but I feel like that's not for me. So, and then also last thing, I'm trying to talk a bit louder, and I tried adjusting my microphone settings a bit, so hopefully the audio is a bit louder slash clearer, just or a bit better in general. Uh, and then I think that's it. So let's just get into it. First up is Ao no Hako, which is also known as Blue Box. Blue Box. Uh, Great anime. I looked forward to it every week. I did have a lot of expectations for this just due to the hype and talk around it, and I'm always a sucker for well adapted romance anime. Opening was great. I really liked the song. I believe it was done by like Hige Dandism, something like that. Uh, and the visuals were amazing for it too. Like it's for some of the visuals in the beginning. Ending was alright, nothing too special. Animation was, or uh, moving on to the animation. Animation was fantastic. I It is incredible how much better this is than just like some of these other shows. Looking at you, Blue Lock, like some of the sports scenes were just they went hard. Like some of the I believe there was like a few badminton matches, and the camera's moving around. It's actually exciting, and I never played badminton, but some of the people that have said that that's what it felt like, a badminton match, even though it was like fast and quick and a little confusing. That's what it was like. So, love the animation. It was really great. Uh, art style. I like the art style too. It's pleasing to the eyes. I also like the chibi art style that they use for like gags or whatever. That's pretty nice as well. So I wouldn't really say it's particularly strong in the romance or the sports aspect at the moment. But I do think they did suffice. And spoilers, they are getting more into the romance in the second core. It feels like. So the characters are definitely where it's at least for me. I like Chinatsu as the tomboy, cool girl. Her just love her design, personality, just everything. She's definitely my favorite. Uh, Taiki, he's the main guy. He's a little bland. I feel bad saying bland because he's not offensive or anything. It's just he's all right, and I know some people have issues with him, but I mean I still like him. You know, he's nice. He's not yeah, he's not offensively bad. He's just very normal, which is you know good if you want to like relate to him. I feel like maybe he could have had a little more something, but I still think he's perfectly fine as is. I still like it. I just Shinatsu so much cooler. Uh, other main character is Hina, who is the childhood friend of Taiki. I like her a lot, and despite liking Chinatsu more, I can't root against her. Like I can't root against Hina. There's just something about her, especially when she's teasing or just messing around with Taiki. It's just so cute to watch. They're just very natural together because they have known each other for so long. Kyo, Taiki's other friend, is also pretty cool. He's not listed as a main character, and I feel like we could have seen him a little more because you know he's a bit interesting. You know, very observant, all that. Good friend. The plot is essentially Chinatsu living with Taiki for the school year because her parents go abroad for work or something, and both Taiki's and Chinatsu's parents or their moms are really good friends and were teammates in like high school or whatever. So she moves in with Taiki. He has a crush on her, and so they make like a promise to each other to push each other or to go to nationals for their respective sport. And you know they have like this whole cute little bracelet on their foot or yeah on their ankle, and it's really adorable. So it's just basically about them training, talking, interacting, pushing each other for nationals. And so one thing I did know is I'd prefer seeing a bit more basketball and more from Chinatsu's perspective, as we mainly just get Taiki's and badminton, which, you know, isn't bad, but I just want a bit more of her and then the basketball. Because we only see like tiny glimpses of her playing basketball. And that's one of her main things. She stayed here to play basketball, you know, to play with her team, to go to the school. And I mean, I get it. Taiki's the main character. Gotta focus on the badminton as well. But I would just like to see a bit more basketball. I think the first core was great, although there's not too much progress in like any kind of relationship as she wants to focus on basketball and he respects that and also just doesn't want to make it weird as they live together, which I totally understand. All right. I would not want to confess to someone that I'm living with like under these pretenses. It, like Swift, she just says no, and then it's just awkward for the rest of the year. That's terrible. So although it was really cute seeing Chinatsu slowly realize that she likes him, and you know we even get to see her like get jealous of Hina at points, and like there's like this really cute scene where Hina goes to like steal some of Taiki's food, and then Chinatsu comes up after, being all jealous and wants her share. I believe where it left off, there was like a little bit of awkwardness between them, as she thinks he is together with Hina, and he lied to her about going on to the festival, like because he said, "Oh, we're gonna go to the festival as a group," but then Kyo ended up canceling, and then it was just him and Hina, and she saw that. So I'm really quite interested in Core 2, and I do look forward to getting to talk about it the next seasonal update. So I really like Blue Box, or I don't know, Hako. I really, part of me really wants to put it S tier, but I know it's not as good as some of these other shows that I'm going to talk about. So I'll leave it in A for now. Next up is Bleach, Sennen, Kessen-hen, Soukoku-tan, which is Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, The Conflict. Amazing season of Bleach. Bleach fans are still eating good with Core 3. Amazing opening. I like it a lot, and I think it stands up there with some of, with Dandadan this season. Like, at least just for me. I know everyone loves Dandadan's opening. I do too. But something about this opening, it's magnificent. Ending was good too. Nothing too special to say that I have to say about that. Animation for the show is phenomenal. Like it's like this and Dandadan are like 1A 1B for the season. It's truly just wonderful how good it is, and it's to be expected, as they did open up a studio to like keep the quality up. All the fights were like were great this season. I didn't think any of them really lacked a lot. I love seeing Aizen in action again. Although he's just in a chair fighting like hands, some sort of spiritual power that was raining down on raining down on Soul Society. I'm hoping we get more of him, and maybe a Bankai for him, as there's been some talk, although it's probably just cope. Like, or seeing Grimjaw and Nell again was great, although I feel like Nell just disappeared. I'm sure she's still there somewhere, and she'll have a fight maybe, because I don't think she really had a fight in this core. But I feel they were all running together in the palace, and then they got split up, and then I feel like she disappeared. And then Grimjaw, he talked all this game, but then just like lost off screen. So maybe he'll redeem himself as well. My favorite fight was probably like easily Shunsui and Nano taking on Lily Barrow. Just everything about it, taking on this mortal god, the backstory for Nanao and Shunsui, just everything, and like how they intertwine. And it's just adorable watching Shunsui just take care of Nanao and treat her like his daughter, or just like like always protecting her, making sure she was brought up right, because he pretty much took her under his wing after like the whole fiasco and the backstory. I'm surprised they didn't kill this man off at the end, because like he's in like critical condition, but he'll regenerate. Everyone regenerates. And his Bankai spirit, I believe his name is Katen, like peak design. Why does Kubo have such good taste in women and just fashion? Just absolute greatness. I quite liked Mari's and Nemu's fight, and then just seeing Nemu's backstory, I was just like, oh my god, oh my heart. So I've really been glad I've been going into 1000-Year Blood War blind, and I also didn't have to wait 10 years to see it. And from what I'm hearing, from what I'm hearing about from the manga people, is that the anime original content is just fleshing out everything like the stories, the characters, the backstories, like just everything so much more. And I really appreciate that. I'm glad I get to experience it in what Kubo wanted it to be. But I do want to know, I think Squad Zero is pretty underwhelming still. I I know people were saying they feel a lot better, but I still, man, it's like this. You got the squad that protects the Soul King and the Royal Palace, but then they just lose to the Quincy's, and I feel like they just got slapped around. And like the Quincy's didn't even use like any other power ups. I feel like that hand look hand looking guy, that little goblin, Quincy Goblin. He never transformed into a hand. Uh, the Thor looking guy, he didn't do anything like crazy like he's like that he did like at the end. Like Lily Barrow, he never transformed or like I feel like did anything with his eyes. So I feel like they're just walking L's and get the whole part where like three of them gaming themselves so then the fourth one can use their full power and then they just walk over her after she does her like whole Bankai thing. And like I get it. Gotta have the main characters do their thing, but they didn't even take down one. I think I don't know. Squad Zero sus. I did love the visor scene at the end. I am just and I hope they get justice as I just love their whole group and just the whole concept of them. Uh, Probably went on glazing Bleach too much, but I look forward to Core 4 and the finale. I cannot wait to see the big fights. Easy S tier, no doubt about it. Next up is Blue Lock versus U20 Japan. Just the second season Blue Lock. Very disappointed with how this season turned out. I guess we'll start with the opening and ending. I like the opening. Visuals are nice. A little messy, but they are nice. Ending was alright. I do like the artist Snowman. So, moving on to the elephant in the room, the animation and production of this show is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Um, Other than the 2 to 3 minute duel at the end of the last episode, and it connects with Isagi's goal, it was really bad. Other than that, it was really bad. I know people were complaining about the CGI, the PowerPoint stuff in season 1, but from what I remember, it was not this bad. Like at least in the first core of season 1, and sometimes throughout core 2 of season 1, I left every episode feeling super hyped and just pumped for next week. And like it just embodied pure hypeness. I was like, I wanted to scream just like I just scored a goal on these guys. And this season really fell on its face, even though it was supposedly the best or biggest match. And I also think it doesn't help that it aired on Saturdays, where there was like Ranma and Bleach. Like, and I just looked forward to those way more than this. I didn't really mind the trainings, like having the crappy animation and the PowerPoint stuff for the training for the match, as I thought they were going to just save all the resources for the match because it's supposedly the biggest match in the manga. So, and then but once the news came out about the production and like the leaks and the crunch time and just having to pump these out like days before the deadline, I lost a lot of hope, and it was I was still probably disappointed even after losing all that hope. It was kind of funny though seeing how often they would just pan the camera to the CGI feet just walking around because I'm sure it's a lot faster than making or drawing like the whole character and animating that. There were a lot of cool moments like Nagi's goal, Bardo, etc. But I feel like they could have been a lot more memorable with just even adequate production. Um, I really wish they just delayed this for like 6 months to like a year, but I doubt the shareholders would care. Strictly story wise, it was a nice match. I feel like I gotta read the manga though, just to experience it properly. Didn't really have any interest in the national team besides the team captain Oliver and Sai somewhat. Not really. Shido was pretty funny when he was like becoming unhinged. And he's like very chaos maker. He had that whole thing about like with his seed and like scoring a goal or something. This man is omega sus levels. And then there was that little animation, that duel between Rin and Sai, that and like with Isagi coming in and scoring the goal after Rin kicks the ball away. It probably saved the season for me. It really shouldn't have, but it I feel like it did because it was last episode, and so it left me off on a high note. Animation went so crazy on that, and I was just speechless as I wasn't expecting this at all because of what we got from everything else. So I really wonder how long that took. And once Isagi like scored, he spreads his arms out, and the whole stadium explodes. It's like this is what I've been wanting. Chef kiss. This is the hype I've been wanting. Just like after each episode, but it's not what we got every episode. It was like only that one episode, maybe like one other time for the season. Rin's and Sai's like whole backstory, it was alright. I like them, although I feel like Sai is somewhat of a dick. I maybe like I'm sure that whole training arc in another country changed him a lot, but still, man. And I mean, I'm sure he wants Ren to grow and all that, but eh, he's still a dick. And Ren's whole going crazy thing with like his tongue out, I don't know, man. I'm good. This is on you, Sai. This is all your fault. One other note, I think they spam the aura and the eye aura like a bit too much. It's like sometimes less is more, man. So, and like if they really used it in just like the really important moments, like let's say Isagi like trying to or coming in to steal a goal when he was doing like the practice matches, or like something big like that, like Baro coming in stealing the ball from Isagi. I feel like it would be a lot more impactful if we didn't just get it every time anyone wants to look intimidating. But I don't know how it is in the manga. Maybe it's accurate. So if it's accurate, I can't blame them. Gotta blame the author. Uh, Maybe it's because of Isagi's goal and that sequence. It left me on a high, but still very disappointing season. I know Japan liked it, but we deserve better, man. Blue Lock fans deserve better. I'll leave it in B tier for now. I I feel like C is a little harsh, but at the same time, it deserves harshness. But I'll move it around if I need to. Next up is Chikyuu no Undou ni Tsuite, which is orb on the movements of the earth. This is peak right here. Probably the most underrated show of fall 2024, although I don't know if I agree with that because I feel like I've seen a lot more people talk about it as we go on, and even like after like the end of December, I feel like I saw a lot more people talking about it than what people might think. Because I know in the beginning everyone's like, this is really good. No one's talking about this though. But after like a month or two, I've seen a lot of people talk about it more. I just don't think it's obviously not getting like the hype that Dandadan got, or like all the normies are watching. So start off with great opening. I'm really waiting for the whole version of the song to release. I love the visuals and just how unique it was instead of just making it like bland copy paste animation from the show. Had some really great shots too. Ending was great. The whole walking thing was cool. and I really like the vocals for the ending song. Uh, Orb is pretty much set in 15th century Poland, focusing on the study slash heretical idea of heliocentrism. Animation and art style pretty solid. I did see a bit. I did hear a bit of complaining about the animation. I didn't really notice it, except for like a couple moments, which wasn't a big deal. The show, it's not like action based or anything. It's just drama, talking, all that. My one big problem with Orb, all right, it's very disappointing, is that Raphael died way too early. He was a lot of fun to watch, turning from the perfect student studying theology into the outcast that was wanting to go into astronomy, and just seeing how every all the kids were praising him, glazing him, bro, constantly, and then all of a sudden, oh, we're not gonna talk to you. We're gonna be upset at you just because you won't go to theology. It's like, bro, crazy times. And then he got turned in by his adopt dad. Like, that guy is such an L. The Inquisitor came over and was like, "Oh, you've already been uh like suspicious once. So if you get charged again, you're gonna be killed." So, and this is only his first time. So he turns in Raphael, and Raphael game ends himself because he doesn't want to like, I don't know what the proper word is, but like disapprove of his, like, repent on his actions, because he doesn't see a problem with it, and I respect that. And he also didn't want to get tortured, and he wants to save the material, so he game ends himself like the Chad he is. I believe it was only like 4 episodes we got him, so we move up to the next set of characters. Very disappointed that was only 4 episodes, but it's still good. It's very good. That's just me though. After Raphael, we went to Oxy and Badini, which I wasn't super attached to in the beginning, but they both grew on me a lot more as we moved on to like the later part of their arc. I love Oxy's growth just from him finally being able to look at the sky, because he was afraid of it before, and eventually finding and choosing what he wants to do for himself and like with his life, because he was very lost in the beginning of his arc, and it's just really heartwarming to see how much he grew, and him actually finding passion in things in life. Like, he started learning how to read and write. He started writing his own book. He was giving rations to the homeless. Like, this man did not deserve to die so soon after finding his passion. I don't have too much to say about Badini. You know, he's cool in his own right, and I'm glad he stuck with Oxy in the end. There's not too much action, just a lot of talking and some sneaking, little bit here and there, but still very entertaining. It's a really great Sennen show. A bit glad I started this late, as I didn't have to wait like week to week for every episode in the beginning. Um, One note: there's a lot of torture, so that part does make me a bit squeamish, but it's still a fantastic show. I'd say it's a must watch, or at least the minimum must try. Like, give it like the 3-4 episode rule. uh, I'm really curious as to what the next set of characters will be for Core 2 slash like the next arc. I'm not sure if anyone will top Raphael, but maybe. Oxy's is up there too. It's hard to follow up on two great protacts. Easy S tier. Definitely leave it there. I will have to rearrange like the S tier probably at the end, because I don't know how I want to rank them yet. Just because I'm just going by the fly. Next up is Dandadan. Great anime. I feel like there isn't too much to say that hasn't already been said. Opening was amazing. One of the best openings this season. Although there are some others I'd put up there in this list. Ending was alright. Visuals were cute, but it's hard to compare to the opening. Animation was definitely one of the best, if not the best, from the season. Uh, I'd say only like a couple can compare, like Bleach or ReZero or something. I thought the comedy was on point and the action was a lot of fun. Okadun definitely grew on me a lot after the first episode. He had like that dweeb haircut. I I couldn't really take him too seriously, but you know, after like 5 minutes in, we get to see Momo stand up for him. He, he turned into a new man. New man. Uh, Momo is also very cool. She's a badass girl who won't take crap from others. Sticks up for Okadun as well, and she can hold her own. Arya was quite annoying and still is, but after like the whole ballerina thing, like with her, she grew on me a little. Gigi seems like fun, but we didn't get to see too much of him, and I can't tell if he like might get annoying later on. But for now he's fine. Other than like the crazy stuff they encounter and have to deal with, and just like all the fun sequences and unique fights, I think the best part of the show is just Momo and Okadun's dynamic, and I just really want to read ahead in the manga to see like their development together. Like don't get me wrong, I love all the weird, wacky stuff happening, all the unique stuff. It's great, but the characters are also really great. My favorite episode was definitely the ballerina, like with her backstory. It tugs on your heart. Like it's crazy how we see like this villain, like the spirit villain. We get her backstory, and then we're just like we empathize with her so much, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy how well it was done. The whole montage, and then like the cinematography for some of it was just amazing, and I love the I believe it's I from what I remember, I really liked the music that it had as well. So lots of great sequences in the show, and I'm glad it got the love it deserved. As I've only heard good things about the manga, even before the anime was announced. To the point that I bought some of the volumes because I think I watched the Anime Man talk about it, and like he convinced me. So very crazy fun. Has a bit of everything. It's a must watch. Easy S tier. Next up is Fairy Tale 100 Year Quest. 100 Years Quest. It was alright. I honestly did not have a lot of interest in the beginning, even though I am a big Fairy Tale fan, as it is one of the first anime I've watched slash completed. I don't I don't know why it doesn't hit the same for me. Maybe it's because my taste has changed or it's been a while since the last season, but I don't know. Opening was okay. I like opening two a lot more, and I really like both ending songs. Animation was I feel like it was just a bit bland slash lackluster. I don't know. And the anime I don't know. Maybe the animation is better than from what I remember like old Fairy Tale being, or even like the 2014 Fairy Tale or last season Fairy Tale. But I don't know. Art style was nice though. I like the art style. I just I felt really bored watching through the first arc with like the water dragon, everything in general. Uh, I also didn't really like how they felt like they nerfed the main cast a lot. I understand Shonen does that a lot, but I feel like they just nerfed them like crazy hard. And I do understand that they're in this new world, this new island that's not explored, and but they just defeated the Alcatraz. I I think it's called the Alcatraz Empire. I might just be just going dumb right now, but they defeated that empire that was from this new world. we saw how powerful they were, and then they eventually beat them, but then they can't really do anything to these other people in the new world, like, or even the dragons when there's like two dragon slayers. But I mean, it's like whatever. I also didn't really feel anything when they were fighting the new generation of dragon slayers, because we get introduced to like this Diablos guild that wants to eat dragons and dragon slayers to get their powers, and they're just so lame. I feel like the fights could use more life to them, or like at least some more dynamic, or like better choreography. I kind of got more into 100 Year Quest once the like White Witch took over the rest of the guild, and the main crew has to go free him while also dealing with the Earth Dragon. And it was fun seeing like the fights between the members. I think Loxus and Urza versus there's like one of the Diablos ladies. That was probably my favorite, one of my favorite fights. I feel like Celine's henchmen and like the last arc were just pretty weak and didn't do much. It was nice seeing Aquarius again though, because like Lucy didn't have to have the key to summon her. Because like there's this whole other world that gets introduced, and it's like over exceeding in magic power, so she doesn't need a key to summon people. So she could see Aquarius again. That was nice. As I said before, Diablo's Guild was just super lame, in my opinion. We get to see them. They beat up all the fairy tale guys, and I feel like they were all boring though. Besides the Kenshin Humida copy that we see later on. I believe his name is like Suzaku, but maybe that'll change as we see Celine destroy the Guildmaster and just taking it over. And that's another thing. I feel like there was all this talk about the Guildmaster. Oh, the Guildmaster is having us hunt this down. The Guildmaster, this, that. And then Celine just comes in, one shots him to show how powerful she is. But we don't know how powerful the Guildmaster is. For all we know, he could just have like no powers and just be super lame. That's what it looked like. We never saw how powerful he was. The thing with the Empire from the last season is that we got to see how powerful they are firsthand. We got to see like the main group go rescue the Guildmaster. It's like Makrodov or something from the Empire, and they still got their ass whooped even after escaping, before escaping. So we got to see it, not just it wasn't just told to us. I still have a soft spot for Fairy Tale, but this was really underwhelming for me. Even though I saw it has like a high score and other people were praising it, I'm glad other people can enjoy it. I was just pretty bored. I don't know. I don't know what other Fairy Tale fans think. I mean, I saw it had like a high 70s in it, so maybe people like it. B tier though, I'll put it ahead of Blue Lock though, just because of how bad this animation was. Next up is Kabushiki Gaisha Magi Lumiere, which is Magi Lumiere Magical Girls Inc. This was an alright to a good anime, I think. I mean, I liked it, but I wasn't like wowed or anything. I didn't really expect much going in. I was just like, oh cool, magical girl anime, let's check it out. And by the time I went to watch it, I saw it already had a season 2, so I was like, sure, let's do it. Uh, opening was fun. I liked the song. The visuals also had some nice shots. Ending was alright too. Uh, there's like that whole sequence where everyone was running together, making faces, progressively getting faster. I really liked the art and the animation for this. The animation felt very unique in some of the shots, like in the cinematography, like of them just like flying around, or even some of the action. There was like some really unique shots, so that's what really stood out to me. Another thing is the vibrant colors they used. Like it's very vibrant, and you know, I, magical girl animes like Mahou Shoujo, they usually are. vibrant in color because you know it's magical girls. Gotta make it look pretty. It was like a nice palette cleanser to a lot of like the dark stuff or like just the normal looking stuff that I watched in the time frame that I binged this. So that was nice. I think the art does carry for me because the characters are kind of bland, bit lacking. Like they weren't particularly bad or offensive, but they didn't really stand out. Uh, Main girl Kana, she was having trouble finding a job, and she has like photographic memory. So she finds herself joining this magical girl company after the other main girl, Hitomi, recruits her after Kana, after she saved, after Kana helped Hitomi defeat one of like the monsters. I don't know what I forgot what they're called in their universe. She ba- she basically helped with the tablet and like reloaded for Hitomi, so then Hitomi could defeat that monster alone. Nothing really happens plot wise. Just the generic monster thing shows up. Magical girl solves the problem. We do get some hints that something's gonna go down later on in the show, and like hints between the past, between Koji, the president of Magi Lumiere, and Kei Koga, who is the president of the most popular company. I believe they're called AST. The world does have a unique spin on the magical girls, like with all this stuff being like technology related, while also having the magic element. And so like you need like iPads, computers, you need like code for spells. I mean, it's unique, I guess. There's like 600 different magic girl companies, and I don't understand how there's so many. Like I'm not surprised I'm surprised there's not like, let's say like 5 to 10 of like the big ones, and then you got like a bunch of like indie ones. But eh, sure, 600, sure. Japan needs 600 companies, different companies of magic girls, or maybe that's worldwide. Who knows? Basically, you call the company, they'll send a magical girl out to defeat one of the monsters. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of magical girl animes, so can't really compare. Uh, transfer Transformation scenes were nice. They were quite colorful. I like those. I do think they should add another girl to the company to make it three instead of just being two of them. They did bring an intern at like the end of the show, but it only lasted like a couple episodes, and there was like a time skip. So by the end of the season, she goes back to her company. Overall, I kind of liked it. I will probably watch season two just to see where like the plot goes and see if like it gets better. But I think I'll leave it low B tier for now. Next up is Kimi wa Meido-sama, which is You Are Miss Servant. This was another alright anime. Quite cute. Opening was nice. I liked the unique visuals. Uh, and the song was alright. Ending was okay. It also had pretty unique visuals. I kind of had high hopes for this one just from the cover art, and the synopsis. Plus, I love Yuki's design. All I'm going to talk about basically is just I'm going to be glazing Yuki's design. uh, and it just hits like all the spots. If I take this in, as a whole, I felt really overwhelmed or really underwhelmed with this one. I didn't really care for the MC. He was pretty boring to me and didn't have much like going for him. So basically, Hitoshi, the main character, is just chilling at home, and then this random maid comes up, asks if she can work for him, and he lets her. And it's basically a comfy slice of life about him teaching how to be normal, and she is an assassin maid. Like I said, quite boring, and honestly, all of the characters are pretty lackluster except maybe for Yuki. And then like this one other girl I kind of like is Naka, who is one of Hitoshi's classmates and becomes friends with him and Yuki, and it turns out she's like a ninja or like training to be a ninja. So other than them, I felt pretty bored with the rest of the cast. Yuki is really the highlight, and seeing her reactions and like interactions with like trying new things and trying to learn how to become normal is really all the show had. The episode where Yuki like starts learns how to cry and just starts crying at every little thing was just so adorable. I love like the face she makes when she cries. It's just that's so cute. I just want to pull those cheeks. The romance was okay, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend this other than watching a cute assassin maid learning how to be normal and her cute reactions to everyday things. Like that's all it has. I do like the art style, at least for her. Well, I mean, I did think this anime was pretty at a lot of points. So, animation was good from what I remember. It had some nice shots, especially with like Yuki like going crazy with her skills. I kind of talked I thought I liked this after I finished it, but after I thought about it, started thinking out loud about it. I talked myself into lowering the show quite a bit. I'll probably put it in S tier, or not S tier, C tier. S tier would be way too high. Is NegaPosi Angler, which is negative, positive, angler. It's an okay anime. Opening was alright, I think. Ending with song was good. I liked the visuals. Animation was consistent. Nothing glaringly bad except for like some of the CGI fish, which, was fine. Art style was fine too. Story wise, you get basically what the synopsis says. Main character Tsunehiro, he's a uni student that gets into a large debt and finds out he only has 2 years left to live. So one day he falls into the sea being chased by debt collectors. He gets rescued by this group that's fishing, and then we just basically see him on his journey of life, seeing him evolve and grow to enjoy life because he was like, I'm gonna die in 2 years, whatever. I'm just gonna gamble and just be like a doomer, right? And so, he slowly gets more happy and finds more light in the life. Uh, he's very crappy, very lame. In the beginning, which I expected, because he was all depressed, addicted to gambling, racking up more debt, etc. But even after he starts fishing and finds his passion for it, I still didn't start liking him at all. And while I do have some sympathy for him, I still did not like him throughout the whole series, especially with some of the things he did to I believe his name is Takai. Ta Taka Takaki. Takaki, who became his support beacon or support beam, helping him. Takai is basically paying off Tsunehiro's debt, and then Tsunehiro can just pay Taki Taka Takaki later. I'm so sorry. I'm butchering his name. And he's letting him stay at his apartment too, which and got him a job, by the way. So it's crazy how crappy Tsunehiro treated him. For the other characters, I didn't really like most of them. I felt very indifferent about them. I really liked Takaaki. I thought he was the best out of all of them, and his backstory is quite sad with how his younger brother died and all that, and his whole reason for fishing. The only other character I really liked was Ice. She was quite funny. Also gave insightful advice to Tsunehiro, and it was also just cute how she changes from her like chibi self to her model self, and like we get to see her cosplays reference other works. I believe it was like Albedo and Tanya. So that was cute. Uh, I thought I would like Hana, the main girl we see in the cover art, just from seeing her design and like her interesting hair. 'Cause, she has pretty interesting like hair shape to it. I don't know how don't know how it stays together. Uh, but I was very indifferent about her and the rest of the cast. Tsunehiro does suck though. I did not like the fact he bought this super expensive fishing rod and all these different kind of lures. Like he bought like a crazy amount of lures just because this other girl Kozu, who's another character that works at this convenience store, just told him to because it looked cool or whatever. And I totally thought she was like super sus and like something big was gonna happen with her, but nothing did. So I think she didn't even do it on purpose. I still don't really like her for that. I guess I gotta emphasize part of the reason why I didn't like him buying this super expensive thing was because he just got a job. He's in debt still, and Takayaki is paying for his debt. So instead of paying him back, he buys a super expensive rod, even though he could just ask Takayaki to lend him a rod for the time being. So terrible, terrible. I was also expecting his illness to play into the story a bit more. I mean, I guess it did, with like the whole commotion and drama that happened between the two guys. But I felt it was a little unnecessary. I don't know. We could have just had a fun slice of life about fishing, but I suppose it does spice things up. Still very disappointed with Tsunehiro's character because he still sucks in the end. I don't like him at all. And so while I enjoyed it for what it was, and I liked it at the end because I didn't really think about it too much. After thinking about it, same because like same thing with like Miss Servant or like was it Kimi wa Meido-sama? I talked myself down on it a lot, so I don't really recommend it except for maybe the fishing. Like if you really like fishing and want some like slice of life stuff with fishing, there you go. Next up is Daisei wa Tanin ga Li, which is Yakuza Fiance. I'm kind of surprised I like so much. Opening was so much fun. I really liked the song. Ending was good too. I really loved the dancing in it, and the song was nice. Animations was alright. Some of the parts were a little stiff, but the art style really makes up for it, and it's really great. It feels very unique. Basically, the main girl, Yoshino Some, gets arranged to marry the son of another Yakuza group, Kirishima Miyama, and she moves to Tokyo to go live at their estate. Things seem fine, but then he tells her that he's bored of her, and she decided to step up her game and make him fall in love with her, and then break his heart for revenge, or that's also what the dad said to do, or no, her grandpa. Plot wise, I wasn't ever really bored, and there always seemed to be something going down in the background or in general. Yoshino was a lot of fun to watch. Like just seeing her navigate her way through this whole world. Like even though she was born and from a Yakuza group, I don't think she was really too involved in things. But it was really fun just seeing her navigate through. And then just seeing her other more aggressive side when she's like making threats or statements, it was just so cool. There's no other way to say it. And like when especially when like her Kansai Ben accent came out, that it was peak peak. There's that whole saying, "Oh yes, go off, crow." It was basically like that. She's able to take care of herself, while also and then also hold her own sometimes, but while also being a normal lady, right? Like, because of course the guys are gonna overpower her, so she's got to use she has to use her mind and like be smart about how she approaches things, whether it's like attacking from behind or running away and then making a counter attack. It was really great. Kirishima, he's also pretty fun too. Pretty good looking, and he's pretty strong. He's very dense, and he always goes past normal boundaries of Yoshino, and he's very stalker-like. But he pretty much became like a puppy after he got hooked to Yoshino after she berated him. So he's really into like degrada- degradation, degradation. I'm pronouncing that terribly wrong. But so I really wonder how he would feel about Makima from Chainsaw Man. It's just a thought I had. So it's quite hilarious with their interactions and just after she gets him hooked. I'm very curious to see where the plot goes, as it seems to be hinting slash hyping up to something big that's about to go down. And I'm pretty sure the manga's on hiatus at the moment. I'm not entirely sure. I probably didn't do this series justice, but it's a lot of fun. I do want to check out the manga at some point. I'd say it's a really good watch from this season. Uh, I'll put it A tier. All right, next up is Ranma and a Half. Really solid remake, although I have not seen the original yet, so I am coming from this as a remake only. Amazing opening, in my opinion. It's up there with Bleach and Dandadan. Visuals, love them. I love the song as well. Just everything. It really gives the vibes, similar vibes as to what the Urusei Yatsura remake did. Same with the ending. Love the visuals, love the song. I am so glad that Mappa put a lot of care into this show. I can't even tell that it's Mappa. I was a bit wary that it was Mappa and not David Productions because I thought they did a really good job with Urusei Yatsura. And they do have like similar styles as it's from the same mangaka. But Mappa really nailed it. Like the art style, animation, it was really consistent throughout. It wasn't like, some parts were like subpar or like lacking like Hell's Paradise or like whatever other Mappa things they do. Will say I don't agree or like the fact that the sense for the censorship, because I believe that censorship and for art forms is bad, and if you do want to do it, if you do want to censor it, at least give an uncensored version for those that would like to watch that instead. So then you have the ability to choose. So like, let's say it was like there were some kids over, and because like I had a family member that was over when I was watching it, and I wouldn't want to watch it if it wasn't censored in front of them, but since it was like, sure, we can watch it, whatever. So I would like the choice to be able to watch the uncensored version if I would like to. I didn't read the like the manga or watch the original, so it wasn't too big of an issue, but that's still what I believe. Story wise, it's basically this guy, Ranma, being forced to marry this girl, Akane, as their parents are friends and want them to get together. Ranma is able to turn into a girl when he gets hit by cold water, and turns back into a boy if he gets hit by hot water because he fell into this hot spring in China that gives him that power too. He's a good character. I like him, even though he's quite rude to Akane sometimes. Akane is pretty tomboyish girl that does martial arts, has quite a temper at sometimes. So, but I would too, alright, if I was being surrounded by guys at school every morning trying to challenge me to like whatever competition or a fight to date me, that would be terrible. So I completely understand why she has a temper. I like her a lot as well. It's just fun seeing them fight together, like fighting each other and just getting into weird situations. When we see her go from long hair to short hair, it's just absolute peak. It just hits different when a girl with long hair cuts their hair and it's short. Like whether it's like an accident and like they have to fix it or it's on purpose for, quote character growth. Overall, just a lot of fun. Honestly, one of the animes I really couldn't wait for. Like every week for. So I'm gonna put it in S tier. Next up is ReZero Kara Hajimeru Isekai Seikatsu, the third season, which is ReZero starting life in another world, season 3. Finally, ReZero is back. Love the opening, love the ending too. I don't have too much to say about this, as if you're already on season 3, you're probably hooked to the show. or already into it. Kind of a shame it only had 8 episodes, but if you do include the 90-minute start it had, we basically got 11 episodes till like 2 month break. I can appreciate that they take a break to keep up the quality, as I'd rather wait longer for it to keep up the quality than bringing it down just so we don't have to wait. What is it, like 2 months? The first episode was so good. It was like so chill for like 8 minutes, setting everything up. Then boom, the witches attack, and then seeing the ways that Subaru died to Sirius Romani Conti, it was so brutal. I'm hoping my girl Beatrice gets better soon, as she's just so adorable with Subaru. And my boy Garfield with Mimi, that was so cute too. Like their whole scene on the rooftop with them together, and like how Mimi was like, "You can cry into my chest, Garfield, because I like you." Oh, it was so adorable. I also felt bad for Garf when Mimi took that shot for him, and she's like basically down and out right now. So I'm hoping she doesn't die. The fight with the dragon was a lot of fun. Seeing the way Capella Armada uh, Lugnica transforms other humans and like manipulates them. So dark. I'm really liking how these witches, just how like disturbing these witches are, or not the witches, the witch cult people. So I totally thought that Subaru would like try and die after the dragon blood got into his leg, cause like that's what like transforms them and mutilates them. But I'm sure he'll get some sort of power up for it. And I feel so bad for my girl Krush. She just gets the bad end of the stick every single time. First her memories, and then now she gets beaten and has dragon blood in her as well. And like she's like bedridden, suffering. And so and like Felix is next to her, and I feel like they do my girl dirty. And then also that scene of Subaru tying her to the dragon's foot and like escaping with her. That was just such a cool moment. It's like this is why my boy Subaru is the Chad he is. ReZero is definitely one of my favorites of all time, so all I can do is gush about it. Easy S tier. Next up is Rekishi ni Nokoru Akujo ni Naruzo, which is I'll become a villainess who goes down in history. Solid anime. I had a lot of fun with it. However, I will start with the fact that I am a sucker for villainous anime. Of the few I've watched, I've always enjoyed the crap out of them. I like the opening, even if it's a bit generic. Ending was good too, with some cute visuals. Uh, Story wise, it was basically this girl getting isekai'd into this game dating sim, and she really liked the villainess, so she wants to be a great villainess that goes down in history. Basically, what the title says. As soon as she gets isekai'd, she starts like training and learning to do stuff while she's still young, so she doesn't waste any time. She can become powerful and like super knowledgeable. I like Alicia Williams, who is the main girl. She's a lot of fun, always trying to plot or figure out what to say to like seem like she's the villainess. She also does good things in the background, like trying to prop up heroine by tearing her down, like her ideas down, and hinting that she has to rethink things to rethink her approach. She also wants to like free this like sanctuary slum city so they can live proper lives, since it's like super run down. And then there's the Duke. I don't know, man. He's a bit sus. I get it that it's medieval times, but I kind of wish they closed the age gap a little bit, because I think they're like 5 years apart, which I mean isn't too bad for these kind of times. But I had my eyebrow raising occasionally. But even putting that all aside, he is kind of a possessive and all that, but he's all right. I wouldn't say any of the other boys fit her, so he's better. And he does get better as the episodes go on. Moving on to the heroine Liz Carter. I do not like this girl. She is annoying. I don't know what it is about her. She just makes my eyes roll. I do like other characters that are compassionate or naive like her, but just something about her. Plus, she always makes these sus faces when no one's looking, like she's plotting something evil. And then there's the fact that she never gets on to her friends for starting crap with Alicia. The point that really made me hate her when Alicia and Jill got kidnapped, and Jill's Alicia's assistant. They get kidnapped, and she has like this magic collar on her that prevents her from using magic. Okay, so she escapes fighting back using her like sword skills and just like her combat skills, and she chases one of the guys outside with like with like a knife that she got from one of them. This girl Liz stops Alicia in her steps with magic, freezing her, leaving her defenseless. Liz has the gall to say that, "What are you doing, Alicia? This is bad. You gotta stop." You don't know the situation, Liz. And if you're going to assess the situation, at least freeze both of the people, as you don't know who this guy is. He's not a student. He's not a teacher. Just some random guy who's on school grounds, by the way. I don't understand her thought process. And so the guy takes this to it as this to his advantage and goes to stab her, but thankfully Duke comes in, is there to intercept the knife and take him down. What is this girl Liz trying to lecture Alicia about violence and hatred when she literally just got kidnapped and was trying to save herself and Jill from these random men who were going to do God knows what to them. So, and then she has the audacity to say, "If you just had faith and waited, I would have saved you." Like what? Why should I have faith in you when you literally don't even know about the situation? And then you were trying to lecture Alicia when she's, you know, trying to save herself. It's just crazy to me. It's just crazy. So I'm glad the Duke just went off on her on like that, and it's crazy to me how the other guys are just like agreeing with Alicia, or not Alicia, agreeing with Liz for literally no reason when Alicia was in danger, especially two of her brothers, because three of them were following Alicia, basically her sims. One of them did snap out of it at some point, so I'm glad he did, and Alicia slowly won back some of the boys. But I will say, Liz does get a little better at the end. We even find out that she was like subconsciously influencing those around her to like her. I I don't know. I don't know if I can trust that. She's really sus and really annoying. And then we also get another hair cutting scene for Alicia. So that was peak. She went from long hair to short hair. She looks really good in short hair. Um, I really hope this gets season two. It gets a season two, as I'd love to see where it goes. I do kind of want to read the light novel at some point. I'm gonna put it high B. I think that's about right. Maybe it deserves A. I don't know. Next up is Rurouni Kenshin Meiji Kenkaku Romantan Kyoto Doran, which is Rurouni Kenshin Kyoto Disturbance. I don't want to spend too much time on this as due to the author. However, I am still watching it because it is a classic and I have not watched the original, and I am separating the art from the artist. I do not endorse what this guy did. This guy is scum. But moving on to the show, I saw a sequel to the first. I enjoy it more than the first. I mean, I still like the first, but I kind of enjoy it a little more as it seems to be going more into like this big story. Love the opening and the ending song. Both were fantastic. I like the addition to of Masao traveling to Kyoto with Kenshin. The fights were solid. I can't compare it to the original. So this is like remake only, similar to Ranma. It was nice seeing a bit more of Kenshin's backstory and like seeing him like how he recovered from the war and it was like how he turned into the uh, Rurouni, and seeing a little version of him training was adorable. I think they're doing a really good job with their remake. I'm gonna put it A tier. Next up is Saikyo no Shien-shoku Wajutsushi Deru Ore wa Sekai Saikyo Clan wo Shitagaru Gaeru. That is a long name. It is the most notorious talker runs the world's greatest clan. I think this is the actual most underrated seasonal on this list. I do think Orb is underrated, like I said, but it gets talked about. I don't see this getting talked about like at all, besides like in its individual forms. So this show turned out to be a lot of fun, despite looking like the typical fantasy isekai trash. Opening was fun, nothing too special. I liked the ending song. Animation was good, nothing glaringly bad, but nothing too crazy either. Art style is nice too, and I think it got, adequate production, especially compared to some of these like other trash fantasy isekais. So, story is basically about this guy Noel being the grandson of this legendary seeker, but he gets the weakest class assigned to him, and he wants to overcome that and become the strongest despite that. It's a lot of fun to watch. I totally thought he was a girl at first, by the way, especially like when he was a kid. He is very feminine face. He's pretty smart. Always seems to be like planning or scheming, just being like several steps ahead. Classic overpowered main character stuff. I like that he's not a goody two shoes, as because in the beginning we see two of his party members steal from him and this other guy, and they bail town, and he ends up catching them and selling them into slavery. It's a great opening to just show how this guy operates. I like Alma. She comes in after the other guy retires, and so he has to like find new people. She comes in and joins him. Uh, I love her design. She's pretty cool, and she's also just quite adorable, like personality wise, while also being lethal. She's a skilled assassin. Koga was also an alright addition too. He's like the samurai type of guy, samurai type of character. It was fun seeing him evolve from like the quiet, obedient slave to becoming a member of Noel's party, like through his own choice. His backstory is quite sad, and then the final member Leon, he's interesting too, as he didn't have happen, like much happening, as he was like the last to join in like the final episodes or like the final bit of the show. But he's the classic good guy, save save everybody, super popular. We gotta help everybody, even if like we don't get like rewarded. And he has to like end up leaving his party and join Noel's because of like a bet, and he was just like being held back, according to Noel. Plot wise, there's not too much besides like this impending attack that we keep hearing about from the creatures of this world. And then like Noel basically going around recruiting, making preparations to become the best clan in the world, or in this world. And he even like dismissed like one of like the three strongest or something. So it is a lot of fun. It is also quite dark at some points. There was like this kid from this village that looked up to Noel, and we see Noel being kind to her and all that, and she really cherishes him and likes him. But he goes does this his job, and their dad and the mom try to poison him so they don't have to pay him, and he retaliates, to which is fair, which is justified, right? You did a job, you got to get paid, and so he threatens their life. The girl goes and gets their savings, and gives it to Noel and then starts hating him in the end. And I felt so bad, but that's not the dark part. Later on, there's like this mafia guy. We see the same dad having to pay back this guy, this mafia guy, and he doesn't have the money since Noel took it. So what happens? Because this mafia guy is unhinged, by the way. We end up seeing him and his family, and they had their bodies mutilated and like animal parts like swapped around on them. It's like basically Mr. Potato Head, but with his family and some animals. Very disturbing, quite shocking. I I didn't do not want to go back and see that little part. Anyways, it's a very great watch. Definitely recommend it if you if you like the fantasy isekai type of thing, but with actual substance this time. Um, I think I'll go A tier. Yeah, I think that's good. Next up is Sengoku Yoko Senma Konton-hen, which is Sengoku Yoko, the Thousandfold Chaos Arc. I'll try to make this quick, but I think this was a solid anime. Opening was nice. Uh, Ending one was nice too. I liked ending two the most probably. Just the vocals, visuals, definitely a mood. This season is basically about this kid who has 1,000 katawada inside him, and he's training, traveling, going around to help control his power, but also help people. And eventually needing to take out these shadow people that are like trying to take over people, and like they're trying to like kidnap him. I really like the fact that this anime basically switches up the main characters in the season. The first one, we see a group of three: Shinsuke, Tama, and Jinka. And then after the whole aftermath, in season two, we get Shinsuke, Senya, and Tsukiko. Watching Shinsuke basically take care of them and like help train them. I loved watching them just grow as characters and just even strength wise. I think I liked Core 1 when Senya was still young and not quite as powerful. I also just loved the Shogun arc, and I was very sad when he died. I also liked Hanataro's addition with her like going along with Shinsuke, because she was with the Shogun and then Shogun died. She had to help him escape and basically joined up with them. Core 2 wasn't I wasn't into the first bit. Like with the big battleground was kind of boring to me. I still enjoyed it. I didn't think it was bad or anything. Just kind of zoned out and like bored. Like I even fell behind like multiple episodes. It was a little rough to get through. But once like Senya goes into the spiritual world and has like that fight slash interesting talk with the shadow people and Jinka's brother, I got a lot more intrigued. It's kind of hard to explain as it was a bit ago that I finished it. I don't want to like get anything too wrong, but since it was like in the spirit world, the fight was just like a lot more unique because actual strength isn't everything and you have to be like creative. There's a lot more of the mental that plays a part of it too. And so I just love the whole fight, the resolution of them finding a solution, the whole resolution of them trying to find a solution to save the shadow people without having to sacrifice Senya or Jinka or whatever. It was really nice. After the whole final battle, they go save Jinka, who's gone crazy and overtaken by power since the end of season one. That was cool. I think I like the spiritual world shadow people fight more, but that's just me. Watching the last episode with everything resolved, I I really enjoyed the last episode. Seeing just Senya getting with Tsukiko and having kids and watching like her grow old and eventually pass was just so heartwarming, but also sad too. And then in the end, we just see Senya travel along the country, occasionally running into like Mudo, his best friend slash rival. He's the Black Dragon, and Jinka and Tama, as they all like they're all alive and aged differently because they're Katawada and not 100% human, or they're not human, but in Senya's case, not 100% human. I really want to go back and rewatch this show and or read it and probably read it too. Read the manga as I feel like there's a lot more I could pick up, and I think the show is definitely worth a try, but it is a bit of a slow burner. But if I have to convince you with one thing, has peak mountain god mommy design right here. I'll have a picture up on screen. Absolute peak design. So I'll put it in B tier. Um, we'll go high B tier. I think I think that's fair. Next up is Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. Just a lot of fun. I wouldn't say the first part of the season is as exciting as Season 1, like Season 1's final arc, but it's still a solid sequel. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Solid opening with Lisa. Ending was alright too. I like the visuals like a lot for the ending song. First part with the reactor core and the meeting, like between all the main characters slash side characters. It was alright. Nothing too exciting. Just get a lot of talking, a lot of interacting, and just more world building. The bit where he's playing this world's version of Armored Core was alright too. Like I kind of like the fact that we see Sanraku play other games other than just Shangri-La, but at the same time, I'm not quite as invested when he's playing other games. I think the visuals were solid and consistent, which is nice. It's not like super wonky or anything. I like the addition of Rust, one of the characters he fights in the Armored Core game. Just something about her design in that game was just great. Although we haven't seen her Shangri-La avatar yet. Core ended like in the middle of a rematch with Lycagon. Lycagon. I'm butchering the name, but the Shadow Wolf that he fought and got his marks from. But this time he has Tiger Zero with him, the Attack Master. I quite look forward to see how that resolves, and it's just fun just seeing him how much more overpowered he is compared to the beginning. I was a bit worried how they were gonna make interesting fights as he's already beat besides the unique bosses as because he's already beaten a unique boss like so early on, but I think it's been handled well so far. And I mean, I'm sure they'll like since there's like 7 of the unique bosses, if they do like one a season, that's like 7 seasons. So, I'm sure they got stuff to do. Plus he's not I don't even think he's like max level or anything yet. It's a really good anime just to kick back, have fun with, and not take too seriously. I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm sure Core 2 will be more exciting than Core 1. I'm gonna put it A tier. I think it's pretty solid. Next up is Tsuma Shogakuse ni Naru, which is Tsumasho. Uh, Solid anime despite the sus looking title. Opening was fun, although it felt a little out of place when like the episode starts like serious, like super pretty serious, or like it's like super down, and then boom, the opening hits, and it's like all happy go lucky. So it's a little odd. Ending was nice. It was super cute. I love the vocals for the song. Animation was fine, I guess. I mean, it's nothing too special. It didn't need much to begin with, as it's just mainly about the characters interacting and about like just their whole drama and the story. Art style was fine too, although I guess I gotta say it does have a bit of boring animation. So I do wonder how the live action is, as I know there's one for that. Characters wise, I think most of them were like fine or good. The dad was kind of saying some crazy things in the beginning, like once he found out his wife was in that little girl's body. But other than that, I think he did fine. It's like he was saying some crazy things. Like if you didn't know about this context, like even if you do, you're like, whoa, chill out, buddy. But he was fine. Marika, or rather Takai, who has taken over Marika's body, she was good. somehow starts supporting her old family again, like making bentos and hanging out with them, even though she's an elementary kid. I'm not sure how she has the money for that. Well, I mean, Keisuke was paying her for the supplies, but still, I don't know how she has the time for that either. But she was like wanting to help them get back on track, and eventually succeeded. So, you know, happy for her. You know, she got to have her peace because she died like in a car crash, like a truck crashed into her, and so she never got to say goodbye. So that was the whole purpose of her coming back. I don't really like Mai, who's their daughter, and she's just kind of annoying to me, especially at the end. I can sympathize with her getting her mother back than just her mother having to leave and move on, but I she's still a little annoying. The supporting characters were nice too. I like Moria. She was pretty supportive of Kisuke at work and in the end. I don't know if they got together in the end or not. I don't remember. Renji is alright, although I feel like his and Mai's relationship just went from 0 to 100 real quick. I think there were a couple time skips, but still, I feel like they just met and now they're dating, and then an episode later, now they want to get married. So that was pretty fast. I don't know how the manga like paces that. My favorite supporting character, if not overall character for this anime, is definitely Chika, who is Marika's mom. She starts off being unlikable, always annoyed, drinking, angry, like super messy. House is like in disarray, and she's like mean to Takai, although she doesn't know it's Takai yet. But we get to see her grow and learn from her mistakes, and she's starting to try and to improve herself to better support and take care of her daughter. And we just see how much she actually loves her daughter, and it just she becomes so much more likable in the last half of the series. And we saw some of her backstory of like how her mom was abusive and like how crappy she was overall, and so how that influenced her. But she wants to change that. Doesn't want to turn out like that. I also felt really bad for her when we found out that her boyfriend already had a family of his own. Like, how are you gonna invite this single mom and her daughter to go live with you when move in with you when you already have a family? And it's not like they were in like separate cities. This was all in the same city. I don't know how. I don't know why what this man was thinking. Overall, it's a good watch. It pulls at your heartstrings, and I'd say it's definitely worth a try if you can get past the sus title. But I enjoyed it a lot. I'll probably put it mid high B tier. I think that's fair. Uh, and that's all the seasons I watched. So now it's just the final ranking. I think I'm gonna move Magi Lumiere down to C. I think. Do I like Maybe I have Yakuza rated lower than some of these other shows, but I might just need to increase their ranking because I feel like I like it more than these other shows. Maybe I do. Maybe Rurouni. Maybe like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. I feel like S tier is the hardest, just because I love all of these shows so much in their own right. I think I like ReZero more overall than Bleach. However, I think Bleach this Bleach season was just so good. So I'll go Bleach, ReZero. I'll go Dandadan, Orb, Ranma. I feel bad for Ranma, because I really enjoyed Ranma. I feel like a lot more than just your average anime fan. So I feel bad for it being low, but I think this is fair. Only other thing I would change is maybe like Blue Lock, like that. Maybe like that. Not Fairy Tail's better than Blue Lock. So I feel like this would be my final ranking. Either Blue Lock very low B or very high C. it probably deserves C or D, but I definitely enjoyed this a lot more than like these other shows. Yeah, I think this is my final ranking. Pretty balanced. I I do want to watch just the good shows from seasonals, but like I wanted everything I watched like before I decided, oh let's make YouTube videos. I wanted everything to be what I watched to be B plus because at one point I did try to watch like as many shows as I could for a seasonal, and I got burnt out real quick and watched some real crappy shows. I did not want to experience that again. Since I'm doing YouTube videos, I mean it's fine now, but pretty balanced, pretty top heavy, which is good. I I think this season was pretty strong, honestly. Um, and yeah, so I guess last up is just the drawings. All right, so for this updates drawings, I only ended up doing one. I did want to do two, and I did plan to do two, but I just procrastinated like crazy doing this one, and I didn't want to delay this update even more because it's over a month and a half since the fall season ended, and we're already like halfway through winter. So I wanted to get this out. Don't want to delay it more, so decided just to do one this time. But spoiler alert, the second one I wanted to do was Raphael from Orb. So my what I'm kind of planning to do is do three for my next seasonal update and have one of them be Raphael from Orb to make up for just having one this time, and then I'll just choose like two others from Winter to do. Uh, but we'll see about that. I mean, I'll try. Drawing's hard, man, especially when you don't know what you're doing. It's hard. But so for the one I did, it's actually two characters. It's from Dandadan, Momo and Okarun. It's the scene where Momo latches onto Okarun's arm and Okarun's like all shocked. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think it looks great, and I genuinely can't believe I drew this. Like, I mean, sure, yeah, I was just looking at the reference, looking at my sketch paper, trying to copy it exactly and do my best to make it look right. But my man, I I don't know how I pulled this off. uh, it looks really good. I'm actually really surprised that the scaling isn't really too off because, as you know, I don't know how to draw properly. I'm just I try to pick somewhere that looks easy enough to start and then start there. So I started with Okarun's head, moved down to his right side, like with his hand that's out, and then to his left side of his body, into Momo's arm that went into like her back and backpack, and then did her like chest part, like ribbon and like the collar, all the way to her head, and then to her hair. So it was really rough doing all that. It probably take That's probably why it also takes me so long, is because I don't do the whole drawing out the whole figure shape first and then filling in all the details and like making sure all the scaling's right. I draw it. If it doesn't look right, I have to erase it, draw it again, and just make adjustments. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. Particularly, I really love how Momo's face turned out and just her eyes in general. Uh, I had I had a bit of a rough time doing her eyes, especially since they're like, because I was also looking at the how the manga mangaka does it, like does the shading in, because obviously I'm not using color, I'm just using a pencil, and her eyes are pretty filled in for like her color. So I tried to replicate that. I hope it doesn't look like she's high. I'm really happy with how her hair turned out. I especially loved like the part that's like near Okarin's shoulder. I think that's just it looks amazing. Um, I and I mean, I think I think her arm and back turned out okay. Not maybe not the best. I'm surprised at how well the ribbon turned out. That whole area. I mean, it does. It's kind of hard to look at just because it's not there's like not colors and it's just a bunch of shapes. But I mean, the ribbon stuff does stand out, and I think it looks nice. Um, Okarun, I think I actually really love the look on his arm, like where it's bent. Like it looks like an arm that's just bent to me, which I'm really surprised that I got that by. Didn't really give myself enough room. Once again, I could have probably shifted it to the right more, give it more detail over there. Probably could have shifted it down too, so I could do the top of their hair. But I'm really happy with that, how that turned out. Um, he is kind. This is a little wide, and I don't particularly love his left arm or left shoulder arm, how that turned out. But I think it's all right. I love his face. I'm really happy with how the mouth turned out. It looks like Okarin. I'm also really happy with the hair. I tried to make it darker than Momo's hair, obviously, and then just even the shapes, like the amount of wacky shapes. It was a little rough, but it was a lot of fun. Glasses. He is at a kind of an angle in the picture. Yeah, I guess in the picture the left side's supposed to be smaller, so there's that. But I mean, he doesn't look as turned compare like in my drawing compared to the picture, so it looks a little off. Maybe his neck could be a little better, but overall, I'm really satisfied with how it turned out. Much better than like some of my beginning drawings. So, but I mean, I've been really happy recently with what's been coming out. Maybe one day I'll properly learn how to draw, and it won't take me like a whole week of procrastinating to just complete it. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about it. Oh, I mean, I kind of I like how the straps on for his backpack turned out, but I don't like the details, like with the line details, how those turned out. And then, some of the line details on Okada are just like much darker compared to some of the other detailed lines. And then Momo just she kind of feels empty because like nothing's really colored in. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I probably said that like a million times. Yeah, that's my one drawing for this seasonal update. And yeah, like I said before, hopefully I can do uh 3 next season and just do we'll have one of them be Raphael to make up for just doing one. But I mean, I did do 2 characters, so hey, maybe that's a pass. But yeah, overall, this whole season of anime was really good. Surprisingly, not maybe not surprisingly, it was a really solid season of anime. And honestly, I didn't watch too much of summer, so it was. And I mean, I wouldn't say summer was particularly that strong. From off the top of my head, I'm not looking at it at any list right now, but yeah, this is quite a strong season. Maybe it was the best this year, or that last year. So it'll be hard to compete with a winner, but so far I'm enjoying a lot of winter stuff. I have not. Maybe I'll show a little sneak peek of what I have planned, but I have not not really watched too much winter anime yet. Besides like the main ones I really wanted to watch. So yeah, that's it for my update. Hopefully I will get my January update out uh, soon. I'm hoping within a week, like a week max, a week max from when I release this video. But at the same time, I have not started on it at all, and I'm afraid of my procrastinating. So we'll see. But that's it for now. Be on the lookout for that and my just monthly updates, seasonal updates. Maybe I'll try and do seasonal awards. I don't know. I don't know what I have planned. Anyways, that is all. This is Neapolitan signing out. Bye bye.